sometimes the thing that stops you from being able to earn lots of money online is earning your first dollar. Earning your first $100, $1,000, $10,000, whatever it may be. It's about getting over that initial hurdle that allows you to let that snowball start to accumulate, take fast, and get bigger and bigger. And in this video, what I want to do is walk through how to earn your first, whether it be 10K per month, whether it be 50K per month, 100K per month. I'm going to walk you through step by step everything that I did in order to do over 100K every single month, how I've grown 2 businesses to 7 figures, starting a 3rd business, and that is on its way to 7 figures as well, and share everything that I know so that you can do the same and start earning money online. Before we begin, and this is what I think most people, this is where they trip up, is what they do is they really want to get to the tactics. They want to get to the, what should I do? What buttons should I click? Where should I be looking? What should I be doing? Before you can get to that stage, there's a much more important part of the process that exists that very, very few people actually think about, take the time to learn, take the time to understand. And it really trips them up because they don't have the knowledge, basically. And you need to think about it from a first principles perspective, and you need to understand what money actually is. Like, what if you want money, if you want to start earning money, you better be able to like really easily, really quickly define it and not have some blurry, long-winded answer to what money actually is. So you need to start understanding what money is and why do people spend it? Why do people exchange it? And I want to quickly go through why people exchange money. And again, as I say, I'll get to this in a minute. I'll show you all the tactical things that I think you should be doing. But to begin with, you've got to understand why people actually exchange money. Why is somebody going to part with their hard-earned cash, give it to you so that you can earn your first 10K per month online, for example? PS equals M. Very simple equation. This is why people exchange money, and I'll go into it in a little bit more detail. PS stands for problem solved, and M equals money. I'll just do that for now. So when you solve a problem, you get money. So the kind of slightly more elongated version of this is that value is created when problems are solved. And when you create value, you can basically get money. And the bigger the value you create, the more money that you can earn. But it all stems from solving problems. And so what we need to do is look to solve problems, find problems in the market, and then go and solve them. What so many people do is they do it the other way round. I've seen people do drop shipping. I'll go and do drop shipping. And they don't really have any fundamental understanding as to why people are going to give you money. Like, you can't just like go and get some stuff from China, slap it online, run some ads and expect it to work well. You might make some sales, you might make enough to earn a few $1,000s, maybe even a bit more. But unless you want to fundamentally kind of live off your business and make this a long-term solution, you need to understand the foundations of what you're doing. And it's really all about solving problems. And there are lots and lots of problems to be solved. Some are very easy to identify, some are a little bit more difficult to identify. And let's say, for example, you are a bookkeeper for business owners. You solve the problem of messy books, of not being able to fully understand your accounting, not having the business numbers that you might need. It's quite a easy to understand problem that you're solving. Now, that's a very tangible problem that is solved. There are other problems that are slightly less tangible. Take Lamborghini, for example. The luxury cars, they still solve a problem. But the problems are much more nuanced. They're much more varied. There's lots and lots of things that Lamborghini do. And please stay with me here. I'm kind of going off on a side tangent, but I'm trying to explain to you why this all relates back to earning your first $10,000, for example. Lamborghini, they solve a problem of getting people from A to B. That is probably not the most common problem that they solve. They also solve the problem of somebody feeling like they aren't worthy enough or they want more attention. So they solve lots of kind of nuanced problems that people that are even, their customers probably can't even vocalize themselves. They can't quite put into words why they want a Lamborghini. They look cool, but deep down there's a problem that Lamborghini are solving for their customers. And it's nowhere near as easy to identify as the bookkeeping example that I gave earlier. Basically, there's lots of different problems that can be solved, and some are much easier than others. And the problems that I believe that we should be solving when we are earning your first are tangible problems. But tangible problems are problems that we can see. We can't necessarily touch them if they're like, bookkeeping, but we can basically touch them, we can see them. People can see that a problem has been addressed, it has been solved in the physical realm, so to speak. Take Lamborghini, for example. If somebody feels like they have low status and they want kind of a higher self-esteem, so they go and buy a Lamborghini, you can't see that self-esteem has increased. You can't see that. It's more of an intangible thing. If we are looking to earn our first money online, I would strongly suggest that you look at solving tangible problems. The reason being is that tangible problems are really easy to communicate. You work with me and I will deliver X, and you will see that result in front of your eyes. Take cleaning a house. If we've got a house here and at the moment, like the house is all horrible and dirty, and you are a cleaner, you say like, your house is dirty, I'm going to clean your house and it's going to be clean afterwards. Like that is a very tangible result. And it's very easy for you to communicate it. It's very easy for you to say to somebody, this is what I'm going to do, and be very easy for the person to actually see that you've done it and be happy. So when something is easy to communicate, what happens is it doesn't cost a lot of money for you to be able to get that message across to somebody. I'll go back to the Lamborghini example. Imagine the amount of money that Lamborghini have to spend in all the right places to let people know that their car is a luxury car. The people that buy it, they stand for something, that you've got to be like a special person to buy a Lamborghini. Same with pretty much all luxury items. They spend a lot of money in marketing, positioning themselves as luxury. And they do that because a luxury item is going to be able to solve those intangible problems that they do solve. And if they were a cheap car, then they wouldn't be able to solve those intangible problems that their customers have. So if we solve a tangible problem, we can communicate what we do very quickly, very easily, and very cheaply. And that allows us to be able to grow our business very easily. And again, when it is tangible, it's very easy to see the results. It's very easy to get happy customers. And when you get a happy customer, what that does is it leads to more happy customers. And when you get more and more happy customers, what that leads to is less money needing to be spent in order to grow the business. So tangible problem solving, or solving tangible problems, is what you should be doing. And the best way to summarize this is by offering a service. Now, one thing I would not recommend that anybody does, well, I say anybody, depends on you like personally, but for me, for example, I want the freedom to be able to kind of work where I want. So I wouldn't want to have a location dependent service, like for example, house cleaning. I would want something that is online. And the reason being is it means that I can travel, I can live anywhere I want, and I can do all these cool things that make me happy. Now, that doesn't mean that that's what you've got to do, but what it does mean is that it is much easier to scale. And if you want to earn your first X amount of money online, then you kind of got to do it online. We want to provide an online service. Now, there are lots of online services that we can offer. There is no kind of best online service. It's going to vary from person to person based off your individual circumstances. But what I think is really helpful is to use inverse thinking. So whenever we as human beings, we try to think of things positive, we try and come up with ideas, we try and come up with solutions, what often happens is we're left staring at a blank sheet of paper, not being able to come up with any good ideas. And the reason being is that our brains are they're much better at being able to think about negative things. So if we use inverse thinking, what it allows us to do is come up with these positive answers, but just backwards. And coming up with answers backwards is just a much easier thing to do. I certainly find it a lot easier. For example, if I was thinking to myself, like, what would be bad attributes of a service-based business that is online? I could think of a few things. So it would be hard to deliver, like it takes an exceptional amount of skill to be able to do it. I would think that it solves a small problem. I would say that it is an uncommon problem that it solves. I would say that it's hard to sell. And I would say that it is very low cost. So if I wanted to make money selling an online service, let's say I didn't want to make money selling an online service, I would make sure that it was really hard to deliver that online service. I'd make sure that it solves a really small problem for a very small number of people. I would also make sure that it's really, really hard to sell, and that when I do eventually sell it, I sell it at a really low cost. It's really cheap. Now, if we just inverse this and we look at like what the opposite is, it gives us some characteristics that we need. And it's so much easier to get these good characteristics by just doing the inverse. So we would say it's easy to deliver. Easy deliver. We would say solves big problem. What else would we say? We would say it solves a common problem. We would say it is easy to sell. Easy sell. And high cost. High cost is not necessarily like a bad thing. What I mean is like it gives you a decent amount of money each time that you sell it. So now what we've got is we've got some parameters in which we can make this decision based on. So now we can look through and we can be like, right, now I've got, let's say for example, that's meant to say ideas, by the way. Let's say I've got a bunch of ideas. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different business ideas that I'm thinking about starting. Now I can say, right, number 1, this might be AI integration for businesses. So is it easy to deliver on? Well, not really. Does it solve a big problem? Not really. Does it solve a common problem? Not really. Is it easy to sell? Kind of. Like maybe if people actually want to buy it. High cost? Yeah, probably. So then I would look at this, and this is just like a really basic example, by the way, but I would look at this and I'd think it doesn't really stack up too well. So I can then look at, other business opportunities and business models to look and think, should I do this? So let's look at another one. Let's look at SMMA. So is it easy to deliver? No. Does it solve a big problem? Yes. Does it solve a common problem? Yes. Pretty much every business owner has a problem with growth. So it solves that and it's common. Is it easy to sell? No. Is it high cost? It can be. So 3 out of 5. So this one was maybe like 1 out of 5. This one was like 3 out of 5. And this is exactly what I did. I went through all of this. And to be perfectly honest, this wasn't how I earned my first amount of money online, but it was how I earned my first good amount of money online. I used to run an SMMA, and I basically started to hit a bit of a brick wall, like a lot of people do, where you fall out of love with it. You get too in depth into the weeds. It's really difficult to run. And I basically earned my first amount of money online with an SMMA, but I earned my first proper amount of money, I'm talking like 100K a month plus, through something called a lead arbitrage system. And the good thing about this is basically nobody knows what it is. Nobody is doing it or doing it properly. And it ticks all of these boxes. Let me explain what a lead arbitrage system is, and then I'll let you decide whether or not you think like it makes sense. So lead arbitrage system, really simple. We have, this is you, we have biz owner, and we have over here, we'll call them expert. So basically what you do is you say to business owner, do you want more leads? Do you want more sales calls? Do you want to grow your business? And do you want to do it on this is the important part, a pay per result. I won't say pay per lead because sometimes it's sales calls, sometimes it's leads. So I'll just say pay per result. This means that it is no risk to you, Mr. Business Owner. I'm going to find you leads. When I find you leads or calls or whatever, and you're happy with them, then you pay me for that lead or that sales call. How does that sound? Unlike SMMA, where you have to give me like 2-3K per month every single month, you just pay me when I generate you the results that you're looking for. So lots of upside, zero downside. How does that sound? Business owner says yes. So for me, that is a tick on the easy to sell problem. Not only because they basically have zero risk, but also because they struggle to find leads. The reason that when you open up your phone, you open up your front door, you turn on the TV, you see adverts everywhere is because business owners want to grow. So it is a common problem that you are solving. It is also most likely the biggest problem that business owners face, is that they don't have enough customers. Very rarely do you speak to business owners that say, I simply cannot take any more business. I am full, I can't cope anymore. Most businesses fail. And the reason being is because they can't make enough money. It's not that they make too much money that they fail, it's because they can't make enough. So it solves a really big problem for them as well. So straight away, just by positioning it as a pay on results, you have solved a big problem, a common problem, and it's easy to sell. Now here's where it gets cool. Let's say, for example, you charge this business owner $200. You then work with a expert and you work with them on a pay per result as well. And you might pay them to find this person's lead $100. So you get $200 from your client, you pay the lead expert $100, and you keep the remaining $100, and then the expert basically gives the business owner the lead. Now you might be wondering, why would this person here not just work for this business owner here, or work for themselves and sign this business owner? Well, very good question, but that's like saying, why does every chef not start their own restaurant? Why does every taxi driver not start their own taxi company? Why does every employee not start their own business? Some people just don't want to. And some people are more than happy to just get paid to deliver the service as opposed to this part of like the communication with the client. So it's important that you keep a gap between you and between the expert and the client, because then you own the relationship. If you just let this guy and this guy talk to one another all the time, they're probably going to think, why are we paying this dude $100 in the middle? I'll pay you 150, I say 50, you make an extra 50. So that's not what you want. Because we're letting somebody else deliver the results for us, it should be easy to deliver. But there's kind of a problem here. And the problem is that finding people that are good is not easy. It's not easy to find these people. Although we've got the likes of Upwork, we've got Fiverr, and we've got all these other job boards online, not everybody can do it. And that's why what we have done for all of our students is we've actually been through, found people, trained them on all of our systems on how to actually deliver the results, become an expert, and we train them on everything that we know, so that when our students start their own lead arbitrage system, they have experts that they can go to and work with that can deliver the results for your clients. So a lead arbitrage system is easy to deliver if done properly. Now, the next thing is it high cost? Well, it's $100, for example, in this case, every time somebody finds a lead for you, which is not super high. It's not super low. It's certainly more than like per hour of a normal service business. But what is good is that this business owner, if they had it their way, would probably want anywhere from 10 to, let's say, 50 per month. So although you pocketing $100 isn't great from one lead, if you got 10 of them, that would be 1K. If you got 50 of them, that would be 5K. And then let's say, for example, you had 10 of these guys, you had 10 clients, and they all paid you, let's say, 2K per month, then you're at 20K per month. And that's in profit, because that's after you paid this guy. Not full profit. There will be some costs in your own business, but they will be pretty minimal. So you're probably looking at like, I don't know, 18k profit if you were to generate 20k per month. Something along those lines, very, very high profit margins if you kind of build it properly. So if you do want to earn your first amount of money online, you need to understand why money changes hands in the first place, and then what a good business kind of looks like. And we've kind of noticed that a tangible service delivery is going to be the easiest way to sell. And we use inverse to understand what a bad business looks like, which tells us what a good business looks like. And then we can look at different ideas to match the criteria of what a good business looks like. And there are lots of good businesses out there. Some are better than others. And I truly believe that the lead arbitrage system is the best business model out there. And if you do want to find out a little bit more about how it all works, click the first link in the description below this video. It will take you to a page. On that page, you'll find out exactly how it works, what it looks like, what you can expect if you start your own lead arbitrage system, and everything in between. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.